Hi, I'm Sam, your resident fantasy reader.
And I'm Morgan, your romance reader, and we welcome you to Just One More Page,
where it's never just one more page.
Hello, Sam.
Hello, Morgan.
How was your week going, Sam? Anything interesting?
What happened this week? That's about how interesting my week was. I have to think about it. Actually, honestly, the pregnancy brain is real. I was at my doctor's appointment and they asked me a very simple question. What did you eat for breakfast yesterday? And I went, I couldn't even tell you what I ate for breakfast the day before. I made up some bullshit breakfast. I'm like, I don't know, like cereal and some toast or whatever. And then I got home and I said to Derek, I was like, this is what I ate for breakfast. I'm so glad I bullshitted the OBGYN because it was worse. It was worse.
What did you eat?
It was a pack of cheese crackers and a protein bar.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you lied too.
I had a doctor's appointment that morning. And I woke up late and I just needed to eat something. And so I just went into my cupboard and I grabbed, and that's what I grabbed for breakfast. And they're concerned about like some issues that I'm having. And so I checked my blood sugar a lot. And my blood sugar was high. And so I was like, what sounds really carby, but not like terrible? So I made up like cereal and like some toast with peanut butter on it. And I was like, if I told this woman I ate cheese crackers and a protein bar, she would have looked at me like sideways because there's no way. But it's true.
It's better than me. If I'm working, sometimes I'll have like a coffee, like a pastry, like today I had a chai latte with a apple turnover. But usually if I'm like home and I'm not going anywhere, I'll eat absolutely trash. Like I think yesterday I was off. I woke up and I had candy for breakfast. And then I was like, ooh, I really want pizza. So I ordered pizza and then I had more candy. And that's probably why I got so sick, because like I was so sick yesterday because I ate so much candy. Oh, do you want your Clayton update for the week?
Yeah, give me the Clayton update.
Okay, Clayton is as big as this fruit that I'm allergic to.
Pineapple.
Yes. He's allergic to pineapple. No, he's not allergic. I'm allergic to pineapple.
He's allergic to pineapple. I hope he's not allergic to pineapple. I love pineapple. I've been eating it my whole pregnancy.
Well, Sam, I used to never be allergic to pineapple, and I got pineapple juice on my skin and it broke out in hives. And then I would eat raw pineapple all the time, and then suddenly I ate it and I was like, ooh, my tongue feels a little prickly and like my throat feels itchy. And so I can have processed pineapple. So if it's like a pineapple whatever, like something at a restaurant that's already processed, I can have that. But if it's just pure pineapple, cannot, because I will die.
I'm so sorry. I've been living off pineapple since like day one.
No, I would absolutely die. So for your 80s and 90s nostalgia, I don't understand what this is. Maybe our viewer or listeners do, because I have no clue what this is. It says Clayton's as big as moon boots. What is moon boots?
Well, I know what moon boots were when we were a kid, but I actually do know what moon boots are, but they're like these like chunky looking like snow boot things. But do you remember moon boots? The plastic ones that like you're like supposed to bounce around in them, like you put your shoe in and you Velcro it, and basically you were going to kill your heel or your ankles and fall to the ground, because we had them as kids and they were death traps is what they were.
I never had them. My mom never let us play with those. And then I think about it, all our toys were death traps. Okay, so there was that. There's the scooter, the Razor scooters.
My poor heels. My poor heels.
You would always hit your heels. We had those things, I don't know what they were called, but like you sit down and it's like you're on a wheel and you spin yourself.
I know what you're talking about, but there's also like a playground toy like that. You remember how we used to get Ryan to like spin this as fast as we could, and we'd get like shot off into eternity?
If you fall off, you're dead. I don't know. There's so many stuff that like I think about it now. I'm like, God damn, I could have died. I could have died.
We're still alive.
Another one I want to mention is your movie and TV props. It says Clayton is as big as Eggo waffles from Stranger Things.
I never watched Stranger Things.
Sam.
What?
I'm coming to see you after you give birth to Clayton, and we're going to be watching Stranger Things because I'm disappointing you, because I feel like you would like it. Sam, you like fantasy. You like stuff like that. So I feel like you would love Stranger Things.
Maybe. I don't know. It's never been anything I've been drawn to. At the same time, you're coming up to watch Heartstopper with me, so.
I am. I'm so excited for Heartstopper.
Me too. Finally got a release date.
I know. Well, also on top of that, though, I do want to say I know what's going to happen in the second season from reading the books. And now I'm getting ready for this heartbreak.
Yeah, I've read four of them, I think, four of the graphic novels. And I think each one of the seasons is what, like two?
Yeah, because when you came over to my house, I was like, "Sit down, you're reading these books." But talking about books, let's talk about the book that we're gonna be talking about today. So today we are gonna be talking about the second book in the Dominions series that we read last year. You can find our first review of the first book in episode 22. We sound like babies. I literally listened to it for the first time today, and I was like, why does my voice sound so weird? Like, I feel like when I was doing the podcast in the beginning, I was like, "Hi, guys." Like, so like, "Hi." Like, my voice was so high pitched. I'm like,
It was like our
"Ew."
customer service voices.
If you guys want to know our review of the first book, go check that out. It's episode 22. But this is a book that follows Meren, whose twin sister will be crowned queen. And the only thing is, Meren is used as a secret backup princess and one to be used in the place of her sister if like anything like strange or sus happens. They just like switch twins, but her life turns into chaos when she's kidnapped by Reven, a shadow wraith who needs the queen's help. So the second book actually takes off as her twin sister, the true ruler of the country, is in hiding and clinging for her life in the desert, while Maren has to pretend to be her sister. On top of that, Reven, her heart, can no longer control the shadows that he has and is losing control. And if she doesn't escape the grasp of the evil king Eidolon, his unstoppable forces will be after her. And on top of that, there is a traitor in their midst. And yeah, I don't know how to explain this without getting rid of like spoiling the first book. It's just really hard to do it. But all you need to know is that they're trying to fight against this king and she's trying to be this queen. And there's meshy part in this book. And yeah. Sam, what do you think about the second book? Did you like the second book? Did it go where you thought it was going to be?
I don't feel like I liked this one as much as the first one. I enjoyed it. I had a really good time with it. I rated it 4.5 stars. Like, I mean, I love Maren as the main character because I felt like going into this one, we were going to be hanging out with Eidolon and Maren more, and we actually got to see more of the world, like actually like be more immersed in the world, and we got more of like the lore behind a lot of things. A lot more things were explained as to kind of what was going on. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it without like spoiling the crap out of this book. I mean, I'll give it 4.5 stars. I wasn't as like distraught at the end of it. I'm still distraught, but like I wasn't as distraught at the end of it as I was at the end of the first one, because I know there's a third one coming. So I was like, okay, like we're setting ourselves up for the finale. So I'm not gonna like freak out right now because I already know a third book's coming. Like, you know, when you're watching a TV show like Law and Order SVU or something like that, and you notice you're like halfway through, so you kind of know that what the person they got wasn't the correct person because you still got 30 minutes left. It's kind of how I feel. Is like I know there's a whole nother third book coming, so like I understand the drama at the end of this book, but at the same time I'm like, well, there's another book coming, so I'll just be prepared for that one. like I feel like having the third book coming is like the safety net of not panicking.
So I actually read the first book again, Sam. I mean, you remembered, like we talked about it after we got done recording last week. And you're like, oh yeah, I remember this and this happening. And I was like, I loosely remember stuff, but like we read so many books, it's hard to remember every detail. And also on top of that, I read a lot of books as it is. So it's like I forget stuff so easily. If it's like big stuff, I'll definitely remember, but like little stuff, I don't. So I really wanted to reread the first book. And I love the first book. And I think I realized why I love the first book so much. It's because it reads like a spicy book, but without like a lot of spice. And I love that. The second book, it was so long. And I think we usually have a rule where we actually split up books, whereas if it's over 400 pages, we'll split it up. This one was almost 500 pages, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like part of me loves the fact that there was found family in it because she's with her friend. I like the character development in it. I like the world building. And I did like the story. I just got very frustrated with how dependent Maren is with Reven. I feel like in some ways their relationship is very toxic, and I didn't really like that too much. Like, I don't know. Like, I get the romance in it. I love the romance in it, but I could have done more without it, if that makes sense. Like, I could have done with more of a slow burn, but then again, we did get them together in the end of the last book. But regardless, like, I really did like it. I rated it 4 stars, like the last one. I think that Abigail Owens does a fantastic job showing off the world, also making these well-developed characters. But yeah, I guess if you're ready, Sam. Oh wait, I did write a little blurb about what happened in the first book, which I guess I'll read in our spoiler section. for people who just want to like listen to the podcast and not read the book. So anyways, let's go into our spoiler section unless you have anything else you would like to add into it.
I mean, it's hard to do a sequel review without like ruining the first book. I'm hoping if you're listening to this, you already read the first book and then trying to go into the second one. So I guess like this is just gonna be pure spoilers.
So I did make a recap of everything that happened. Well, not everything, but like a general recap of everything that happened in the first book, just so we can kind of go over it. So the first book, in the start of the book, we are introduced to Meren and Tabra, who are being born. Instead of Tabra being cursed by a sand nymph, Meren is cursed instead. Growing up, Meren's replaces Tabra, and the night the queen dies, it's no different, except this time Meren runs into Cain, her best friend and the son of a wandering leader. Before Meren can explain why she is dressed up as a queen, she's kidnapped by a mysterious man named Reven. Now, Reven is a shadow of King Evelyn. He also ran away with some of the king's shadow, which is why the king is hunting after him. There, she's taken to the Shadow Woods, a place where Reven takes people who need his help. There is Vox, Reven's right-hand man, Tizy, blue girl who can't speak due to the noise that comes out of her mouth, Horace, a man who has ran away from his home after he denied the marriage of his sister, Vita, a seamstress, and many others. There she finds out her twin sister will be marrying the evil king, Edelon, so her, Reven, and Vox decide to go and stop the wedding, but on the way there they run into trouble, which causes Meren to use her power to control sand, to make these glass spears to defend her group, but ends up impaling herself somehow. Reven uses the shadows to save her, but ends up putting some of the shadows in her. The Shadowwood is attacked and they end up escaping into Tabra and Meren's palace, only to realize that they are too late. Tabra, who has lost her mind, is marrying King Edelon. In one last ditch effort, Meren uses her powers to open a portal and send Reven, Voss, and her own sister away, leaving her trapped with the King Edelon. And that's where we ended up with the last book. And so, yeah. See, can I just say real quick? I wanted more time with King Edelon and Meren.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, I thought we were going to spend more time, like, in the castle than we did, because we got, like, a chapter, and then they were, like, gone and off to go on their adventures.
Yeah, exactly. Because I felt like this book was going to be mostly into two different points of view. I thought with Meren, it was going to be more of like a politics thing where she's like trying to play court and she's trying to figure out who's on her side kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I thought on the other side it was going to be Reven and Cain having to work together, put away their differences to figure out how to like save Meren. And in the end, like Meren would have like gotten back together with Cain and like the rest of her friends in the end. That's where I thought I was gonna go.
I didn't expect the like buddy adventure that they ended up going on. And just can I say, like, they have the worst luck in the entire world.
Yeah.
Like, no matter where they go, it's like there's no luck whatsoever. Like, they go to Tropicus and they all get healed, except that now all the healed people turn into like zombie people and want to kill the unhealed. I'm like, what the heck is going on right now? And they went to the Shadowwood to go to the library, and ironically only 2 of them can read, and everything is wet and just destroyed. I'm like, y'all can't win for losing.
I definitely agree with that. It's like every single chapter there was something going on, which I guess in some ways is good. At least like the book didn't drag too much and it wasn't like boring and like spent like 50,000 pages trying to figure out one thing. But I would have enjoyed it more if it was like 2 different people separated and then they come together in the end. The one thing I do want to talk to you about though is her the seamstress betraying.
Vita is the bug, the inside person. No, her I didn't call, which was nice because sometimes I get pretty good at figuring out who like the mole is. But when she was like, he has my family, I was like, oh no, Vita, I liked you.
Yeah, she was such a sweetheart too because she was like making clothes for her. She was like her one friend. And I was like, maybe she'll still stay alive. Maybe she'll be like, oh, I'll stop. Like, but no, she really was like, I'm really gonna kill you. I honestly thought it was Horace.
Horace would have been the more obvious choice, so I'm glad it was. Not that I'm glad I liked Vita. I'm sad about her, but Vita like is the one that came out of left field, so that was kind of like a good twist.
Well, talking about another death, Oma died. Oma died in the most undramatic way.
I know. I wanted Oma to hang out with us for a little bit longer.
First off, she shows up at this palace randomly. point? Because she's like, oh, I'm here to find you. Like, but how did you know she was there? Okay, anyways, besides the point. She just shows up and then she's like, I'm gonna be there for you because I love you, I care for you. I'm like, okay, that's sweet. In the end, Edelon is like fighting against them. She's like, I'm gonna stand up to you. I'm like, girl, no, sit down. Like, legit, sit down. And then she gets her head cut off. I'm like, well, that's not traumatizing at all. Another thing though is like I felt like things happened too easily. Like the ghost, like what would like I get it.
Oh, when she went into the souls of the damned or whatever.
No, that's when she was like literally just like outside and Edelon came to talk to her. And she's like, I was a ghost.
She got held by the ghost twice.
So my theory is that because they soul bound themselves, so they're like soulmates forever. They have to find each other forever. And then the priestess, when they soul bound each other, her and Reven, the priestess said like, "Well, you guys been soul bound before." So I have a theory that she is Edelon's like true love reincarnated. And that's why they're all like so drawn to her. And maybe that's why like his past selves want to help her.
There's a lot of detail that was kind of given. So like the things that we learned is like the goddess Arid is Edelon's mom, and all the goddesses are trapped inside these pendants. Reven and Meren are both already soulbound in like previous lives.
Yeah, and we also learned that the great monsters of each kingdom are actually the lovers of the goddesses that were turned into monsters.
Which, can I say, I love Bene. I love Bene.
I love Bene too. I was like very confused at first. I'm like, why is the monster working with you? But then I was like, no, I love Bene. I also love how sarcastic he is, and I loved his character. And also, I love the fact that he's so in love with his goddess that he was like, I will not like leave her. I also hope that nothing bad happens to him in the next book.
I hope him and Arid get reunited. But does that mean that Edelon is Bene and Arid's son?
Ooh. Yeah, that that would make sense. Also, though, can I please talk about the fact that she has shadows and okay. Okay. There's so much to talk about. This book is so long. There's almost 500 pages. There's a lot of things to talk about. I'm obviously going to miss a lot of things. But the one thing was when they go to the end of the book, they're going to this kingdom, and this kingdom is able to heal people. The king is able to heal people, and the bells go off, and she almost passes out because the shadows are getting ripped off of her, and she will get like sewed up, like fixed, because in the last book she got impaled, and he used his shadows to hold her together, and that's what's happened when the shadows are being forced away from her because the magic in the air is trying to heal her. She's like, no, I don't want to lose a part of you. And I was just like, same, I was cringing.
Yeah. Girl, you soul bounded to him. Like, you couldn't be much closer to him than you want to be. And I get the reasoning it went that direction because it was a means to an end, because she needs his shadows, and then he gives her more shadows before he goes off with Adel. Reven gives her more shadows, and now she's like responsible for the shadows that were in Reven. So I get the means to the end, but at the same time I was like, girl, you're about to be healed and your scars are about to be gone and you're soul bound to your like lover. It's gonna be okay. Which I'm glad she didn't either, because at the same time too, she would have become one of the zombie things and then tried to like kill her sister.
Yeah, and that would have not been fun. Also, like, I love the fact that they heal her sister and then they go to like basically hell. No, it's not hell. It's like where you find like dead
The
spirits.
souls, yeah.
The souls of
All I equated it to was like Hades, like soul pool you see in Hercules. That's what I thought of.
but like she's like they're like, oh yeah, she's gonna die in like 10 days. It's like, what? You just saved her. You literally just dragged one of Edelon's like ghosts out of her. You think you're all in the clear that she's acting normal, and they're like, no, she's gonna die in 10 days. Like, what?
And then it's like you can ask one question and you can come back at the same time, at the same hour every year. It's like, girl, I ain't gonna remember when I came here.
Come on. Like, I have short-term memory loss as it is.
Is that an important detail? Like, is she going to have to go back and ask another question? And is she going to have to remember exactly when she went back? Or was that just like a lost detail that she doesn't need to have? Because there was no point in asking that if we're not going to use it later.
I would hope that she would go back. But then again, that'd be a whole nother year.
Also, too, the whole whirlpool scene with Cain, like, making out with the devourer because it looked like Maren and everything. I feel like had this been more of a love triangle and less of a like I love you but through friendship kind of thing, it would have been like more of a devastating moment than it was or was being built up to be. Because he's like, what did I do? And it's like nothing. Like, yeah, that's kind of creepy, but nothing. You didn't do anything.
On top of that, though, Maren has made it completely obvious all the time hey, I don't like you. I like Reven. And he's like, but you like me. You have to be with me because Reven is dangerous. And you're like, oh my God. It's like, come on, dude, get the point. But also on top of that, I feel like Reven for her is someone that listens to her and someone that wants to be with her. And I feel like Kane is someone who likes the idea of her. It makes sense for her and Kane not to be together, even though in the first book, I want Kane and her to be together. But I definitely think that her and Reven are a good match. Although I do think like them doing like a soul binding thing of them being soulmates. So I think it's a little bit too dramatic. I mean, you love him, but you also like just met him like a couple weeks ago. Like I can barely like commit to like I don't know or like whatever. But you were like, oh, this man kidnapped me. So
Yeah, and then she goes, "I'm so glad you kidnapped me," and he's like, "Me too." And I'm like, "What is going on?" Oh gosh. I mean, I feel like we got a lot of like really, really good information out of this book. Could it have been like 150 pages shorter? Maybe 200 pages shorter and still had the same points, because I felt like it was a lot of like buddy adventure. Like we were going to this place and we're going to this place, and each one had served its purpose. It was to discover this piece of information, even if shit kept hitting the fan.
well, no, it did like move on really fast. It's like, okay, this is where you got to go next. This is where you got to go next. This is like,
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
so
like,
yeah, we got some really good information. We got a lot of really good setup for the final book and everything. Like I said, toward the end, like Reven going off with Eidolon and Tabra basically half dying, and Meren now being like the official queen because everybody bowed to her. Which can I say, I love that she was like, "I'm the queen." That was a boss bitch move. I don't know, like it was good information. It was a solid middle book, but it really could have been like 200 pages shorter.
do you think that Reven is dead?
No, Reven can't be dead. He's endgame.
I'm thinking logistically, how does that even work out? You're part of a shadow. Like you're not even like a real person.
Maybe we'll have full tragedy and then Maren will end up marrying Kane anyway.
Yeah, Kane would like that anyways with his
He
golden
would.
cuff. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Also, I like the fact that like their whole team, they should be with their team trying to like figure out what they're gonna do next after nighttime. And then here's Reven and Maren literally binding their souls together and then be like, okay, let's go have sex. Like what?
Yeah, and she even like verbalizes, we should probably go find out what the rest of the crew is doing, but never mind, I'm with Reven. My teenage hormones are killing me, so we're gonna go do this now.
I felt like the book would have been better though if it was like I said before, Maren was stuck with King Evelyn, whatever his name is. But it would have been really cool if the king was the same age as Reven, because I think in the book the king is a lot older.
I think he technically is. They call him the Immortal King. I think they're like twins.
Because in some reason in my head, I have a feeling that they're like older.
Yeah, in my brain he's like 35, but I'm pretty sure him and Reven are identical.
Well, it would have been so much cooler if like once again, Maren was stuck with King Edelon and like she gets confused about her feelings because he plays super sweet to her and
Yeah, and more court politics and a little more intrigue. Like a little more of like less buddy adventure, more like subtleties of court. She could have learned a lot of the same information, or the team could have learned the information while she was in court learning more information about Edelon.
another couple that I would love to get more information on is Zaya and Voss. I love their relationship and I love how much Voss is so protective over Zaya. And honestly, I hope in the next book we get more of a like scenes of them together, because I love their background story of how Voss saved Zia and Zia basically watched her whole family be murdered in front of her, which is not a fun thing.
Zia's gonna die.
You dare put that out in the universe, Sam. No,
Zia's gonna die.
I am 100% certain that Horse is gonna die, and of course Tibra is gonna die probably.
Yeah, more than likely. I feel like Tabra is going to be the sacrificial lamb. Like Maren's been grown up this whole time to be the sacrificial lamb, and I feel like Tabra will end up being the sacrificial one.
But if anything happens to my blue little girl in Vox, I will fight someone. I will throw this book out the window. Don't tempt me.
I don't know how long the third one's going to be, but if it was as long as the one we just read, it's going to be a brick. Even though we got this as an arc, I actually have the physical copy now. But the chapters are short. Each chapter was like 6 pages long, which was fine because I was looking through and I was like, 90 chapters, holy crap! And then I was like, never mind.
But yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I mean, I think that if you love like found family trope, if you love romance, if you love demons, probably will love this book. I mean, definitely check it out. I definitely think that it's a fantastic series, and I really, really love it. And I can't wait to read the third book and figure out what happens. Any final thoughts, Sam?
We probably could talk about every detail of this book, and this would be a 20-hour podcast. So no, I think we've hit the main parts. I mean, I still gave it 4.5 stars. I still really liked it. Glad we learned more about the world. I'm glad that we got more of the lore behind what's going on, and kind of like a deeper understanding of like how everybody's kind of connected now, because we now know like the Arid is Edelon's mom, that Edelon and Meren are, I guess, bonded in a previous life. Who knows when, but clearly they've been bonded already. Like, everybody's kind of playing like a bigger role. We learned more about like the twin thing and how the twins are a part of it, and why Edelon's going after the twins. It's a little less like murky as to why he's going after the twins. I also feel like too, I understand the magic system better, because I was having a really hard time kind of differentiating between the Inferni and the Hyleri, and now I have like a clearer understanding of that. So like overall, I really liked it. I still gave it 4.5 stars. Again, I feel like this could have been like 150, 200 pages shorter and still gotten the same story, but we got the details we did, and that's nice too. So I'm excited for the third one. That one's next year. We already have a cover. We already have a title. Like, I'm excited. Abigail, if you're listening to this too and you want to come on the podcast and talk to us, that would be amazing. But we're socially awkward and we can't reach out to people, so this is how we're doing it.
Listen, I reached out to people recently for some guest stars, and asked Sam, I literally threw my phone a couple times when people responded back, because I was like, why are they responding back to me even though I sent them a message? How dare they? So if you were curious, next week we are going to be reading a young adult mystery novel called This Is the Way the World Ends by Jen Wilder. This book follows a autistic scholarship student called Weberly, who attends Weberly Academy in New York City. While the rest of her classmates are from the top percent, Wilvery is busy tutoring her classmates to make extra money. When she's invited by the resident it girl to attend a masquerade ball to pretend to be her, she jumps at the chance, especially when she finds out that Ash, the dean's daughter, and her secret ex-girlfriend will be there. The ball is everything she's ever dreamed of: expensive dresses, wealthy parents, writing checks, and flowing champagne. But the evening takes a sinister turn when Waverly stumbles upon a secret meeting between the dean and the school top donors, and she witnesses a brutal murder. Before she can escape or even contact anyone, a mysterious global blackout puts the entire party on lockdown. Now Waverly must navigate through a dizzying maze of freight elevators, secret passageways, and back rooms if they're ever going to find a way to survive the night. I feel like this is going to be an awesome mystery thriller novel, a book that we really have not read before, so I think it's going to be a fun one. Anyways, if you guys love this episode and you want to support us, please feel free to rate us on Spotify, as it does help boost our podcast out there. Also, feel free to follow us on Apple and on Spotify, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, even though we don't post there very often. And Sam will tell you about the rest of our socials.
So if you think we are hilarious, because fun fact, my friend, we are socially awkward, but we're funny. We do have a TikTok. It is Just One More Page official, or no, Just One More Page podcast. Sorry, my brain is like starting to shut down. So TikTok is Just One More Page podcast, and we do have an Instagram. It is Just One More Page official. So go ahead and follow us on those. Come stalk us. Come talk to us. We love talking to you guys. We hope you guys had a wonderful week. We hope you have a wonderful week. If you are a nurse, happy Nurses Week. And yeah, we will talk to you all next Sunday.
Have a good Sunday. Bye.
Have a good Sunday.